Now, teenage sensation Estevao outshone Lamine Yamal as Chelsea beat Barcelona 3-0 in the Champions League last night. Let's get more on this and speak live to South American football expert Tim Vickery. Tim, thank you so much for your time. It was billed as Estevao versus Yamal, but it was the Chelsea forward who stole the show. Has there been much talk in Brazil about his goal last night?
There most certainly has. Oh, you lucky people. You get to watch this every week. And we had it for a little more than a year. And you could see right from the start, right from his first game, that you're dealing with a very, very special talent. This is a talent which, especially since Carlo Ancelotti took over as Brazil coach, is of crucial importance to the national team. Estevao's first start for Brazil, he played a few times as a sub, but his first start was Ancelotti's first game as Brazil coach. And he's banged in 5 goals in the last few games, 5 goals between September and November. So he's a crucial part of Brazil's quest to win the World Cup next year. I reiterate the point. Don't take this for granted. You lucky people, you get to watch this every week. And I think we've got probably now the first genuine Brazilian superstar to have chosen the Premier League. Usually they want Real Madrid or Barcelona. Estevao has come to Chelsea. Please don't take this for granted.
Yeah, Tim. I mean, Enzo Maresca has played down the talk of comparisons with Messi and Ronaldo. We can talk about it, though. Do you think he can reach that level?
We can. Well, he was known right at the start of his career as a youth player. He was known as Messinho, Little Messi. When he got his break in the first team at Palmeiras, he scored a goal on debut. It's getting in at the far post, and you're thinking, you look at him and you think he's got no right to score that goal. And the opposition was a little team from Uruguay called Liverpool. And you're thinking back then, it's not going to be long before he's doing it against a rather more famous Liverpool. And guess who his first goal in the Premier League was scored against? You got it, Liverpool. I well remember his coach at Palmeiras, Abel Ferreira, saying, now remember, Abel is Portuguese, had a good playing career. He's coached in Portugal, in Greece. He's coach of Endrick, who was at Real Madrid. And I remember Abel in a post-match press conference, pleading in vain, of course, with Palmeiras not to sell him, but saying, this lad, he is different from anything I've ever seen. So, yes, I think comparisons with the top drawer are, all right, they put a burden of pressure on him, but he does seem to respond extremely well to pressure.
Just how highly regarded is Estevao in Brazil?
Well, I think he's generally regarded as the best, the brightest, the most talented player to come out of Brazil since Neymar, with 1 or 2 advantages. He seems more stable than Neymar, and there's certainly so far there's much less baggage around him, so I think the sky's the limit. If I remember one of his early games for Chelsea, he tried something in his own half, gave the ball away. Chelsea conceded a goal. Did it bother him? Not a bit. Very soon, up the other end, he's set up his first assist for Chelsea. And it's not just the extraordinary talent. Now, these goals are being scored off his wrong foot. He's left-footed. The goal that he scored yesterday, it's like the one he scored against Chelsea in the Club World Cup from an impossible angle on his wrong foot. So it seems that there's no limit to what he can do, providing he can stay injury-free.
There were loads of clubs interested in signing Estevao. Why do you think he picked Chelsea?
Yeah, it's a very good question. And obviously, he was on everyone's wish list, and he did choose Chelsea. Well, a few months ago, his agent talked about this, and he said that the factor that what tipped the balance in Chelsea's favour was that they were the club that were most open to seeing him as a number 10. Not a player stuck on the wing cutting in, but as a number 10 with freedom to roam around. Obviously, that's a project for the long term, and how that filters through from those buying him to the person picking the team is something that we're not entirely clear about. But that is, I'm told, why Chelsea, it's one of the reasons that Chelsea won this race.
How much do you think he'd be worth if a club was trying to sign him now?
Considerably more than Chelsea paid for him, because he's already proved his worth, hasn't he? So he's already put himself, I think, in that space where almost no one can afford him. And obviously Chelsea have got him up on a long-term contract, and you can watch this every week. Please don't take this for granted. You have got one of the most exciting talents in the global game. I think the first genuine Brazilian superstar to play in Brazil when they're before and going to reach their peak. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if all the money in the world could buy him at the moment.
Yeah, very interesting, that. High praise indeed. Let's move on and talk about the World Cup, which you've kind of mentioned a little bit with Brazil and their hopes. You know, the draw is around the corner. What South American side should we be keeping an eye out for?
Well, Argentina obviously are the defending champions, and they've done very well since. And they won the Copa America last year. They finished clearly top of World Cup qualification, and they've found a way to play without Lionel Messi. And Messi is still very much involved, but he's not quite as important as he was. And some of their best performances, and they thrashed Brazil 4-1 a few months ago without Messi. So things are going very well for them. But Argentina are trying to do what has never been done. It's difficult to retain the World Cup, almost impossible. What no one has ever done is win that second World Cup outside your home continent. So it'd be fascinating to see if Argentina are up to that challenge. Brazil are certainly getting better since Carlo Ancelotti took charge, and no one is going to want to face that attacking talent. You know, you get the likes of Estevao and Vinicius Junior and Rafinha and Rodrygo, Mateus Cunha running at you. No one wants to face that. So don't write off Brazil. Colombia are interesting, but I think too dependent on Luis Diaz and James Rodriguez to go all the way. Ecuador don't let in goals, but they find it very difficult to score them. Uruguay under Marcelo Bielsa are in real problems. They lost 5-1 last week to the States, and Bielsa gave an extraordinary press conference when he spent 2 hours heaping abuse on himself. So he's under pressure. Paraguay are difficult opponents, but you can't see them going all the way. So I fear it's down to launch a challenge for the title. It's down to the big two, Argentina and Brazil.
Yeah, lots to look forward to. That World Cup draw is on December the 5th. Not long to wait now. Not long to wait either before the transfer window opens up once again. And I want to talk about Rodrygo, because there have been rumours that the Real Madrid forward could be moving to the Premier League. Can you tell us anything?
Well, I have no inside track on this. I've heard nothing official. But in the insignificance of my own opinion, I was quite surprised that he didn't move in the previous transfer window. He obviously decided to knuckle down and try and be important at Real Madrid. But the acquisition of Mbappe has made it difficult, because Mbappe likes that kind of left channel. Vinny Jr. likes that left channel. And Rodrygo likes that left channel. How can you fit them all in? So I wonder now, after the evidence of Xabi Alonso's first few months in charge, if Rodrygo has now come to a different conclusion than the one that he reached in the summer, when he thought the best thing to do was knuckle down and fight for a place at Real Madrid. I'm sure it would benefit him to go to a club where he can have the importance that his talent justifies. And there aren't many who can afford him. And most of those who can are in the Premier League. So watch this space in January.